I'm gonna teach you how to build your loadout in Delta Force Mobile. Game has a lot of stats when it comes to building your weapon. So I thought I would help. I'm using the vector here because this is a really hard gun to shoot. The recoil is very high. So the first thing you need to do to build your weapon is go on the firing range and figure out what issues the weapon has. The vector has really high recoil, right? Yeah, see, the recoil is really high. Yeah, I can see that the recoil is really high here. Also, there is not that much bullets on the vector. Also, one other issue with the vector is that when you put a scope on it, the red dot it jumps all over the place. Yeah, see, the scope is wiggling. Okay, so those are the issues with the vector. So I will try to build this in a way where I can shoot that target. Okay, the first thing that you need to realize what all of these stats actually mean. Damage and range is easy to understand. The damage is how much damage the gun does, and the range is how far you can shoot before damage drop off happens. Accuracy helps with hip fire spread. It doesn't help with in scope bullet spread. It only helps with the fire spread. So if you increase accuracy a lot, it only helps with hip firing. It doesn't do anything else. Handling helps with ADS speed, sprint to fire delay, and weapon reloading and weapon swapping and stuff. Stability helps with visual recoil. It stops making your gun wiggly. The control is for recoil control. If you have a lot of control, you won't have that much actual recoil on your gun. So basically you have to read. You can't just look at the arrows and just put on things with green arrows and fix your gun. You actually have to read. A good example would be this barrel gives a lot of control, handling and accuracy, and if you look at the stats, all of the things are green. So you would think, wow, this is a good attachment, right? But the thing is, accuracy doesn't help with bullet spread. It is just for hip fire, and the vector is an SMG. So you don't need that much handling or ADS speed. The only important stat here is control, but you don't know how much control you are getting. For that you need to go to the details page, which is under the attachment section. The important thing that you need to look here is vertical and horizontal recoil multiplier, as well as firing stability. You can see how the recoil changes on the left. This barrel only gives 8.9 recoil control. That's the only stat this barrel provides, so I'm not gonna use it. See this barrel here, it has a lot of bad stats. As you can see, it provides more recoil control. Also it gives a lot of stability. Important stats that you need to look here is recoil reduction while holding breath, hit flinch multiplier, and lens stability. These stats help your gun reduce visual recoil. It makes your gun less wiggly. So after you put your barrel on the gun, which is the most important attachment, the next thing that you need to put on the muzzle attachment. This is the same idea as the barrel, where you are mainly looking for control and stability. Those are the most important stats for a gun. If you get confused, you can look at the details page to see how much stats you are actually getting. Okay, after the barrel you put on the foregrip. If you have a lot of stability and control, then you can go for handling, but mainly just focus on stability and control. Next you go for the stock. Wow. Okay, so the base for our gunsmith is done. After this you look at the stats of the weapon and see if you need something to improve. My stability is still really low, so I'm trying to improve that. The way you improve it is by using the patches. These are basically free stat boosts to your gun. This doesn't affect the gun negatively that much. As for the magazine, do not put the biggest magazine on because it has a lot of like downsides. Like only put the big magazine on if you're like reloading a lot. If you're not reloading a lot, just put the medium size magazine on. Is enough. The mag mode is also a free stat boost, so you can just put it on and get like one extra handling. One thing that if you don't know about the scope is that if you click the preview reticle button, you can like see the scope thing. Okay, one thing that people get confused about is the laser sight. All of the lasers have like the same stats. The stats shown here are when the laser is turned off. If you look at the details page, you can see that it gives like reduced ADS speed. It shows stats when the laser is turned off and not when it is turned on. When the laser is turned on, it gives like 20% ADS speed. If you put like multiple lasers on, the effect doesn't stack, so I don't recommend you doing that. Okay, we are done with like making our weapon here. Before you like start the calibration, you should see if like all of the stats are like good. The scope calibration is like personal preference. If you like reduce the zoom, the scope zoom reduces, and if you like reduce like the eye relief, the size of the scope like reduces. Try to increase and decrease the slider to like see what stats you want. Like if I like reduce the slider here, I get ADS movement speed, which I don't want. But if I increase the slider, I get ability when moving, which is important, so I'm going to like select that. Here I'm getting like muzzle velocity, which is not that important, but if I like reduce the slider, I get ADS speed, which is more important, so I'm going to take that. The calibration menu is basically a option select. You just select what stats you want depending on your like gun's stats and which gun you're using. Okay, this is the final build for the weapon. These are its stats. Let's see how it like actually works. Yeah, see, there isn't that much recoil. If I control the recoil, there is like literally no recoil. There you go. This is how you build like the zero recoil guns in Delta Force Mobile. So yeah, that is all I have to say. Subscribe for more Delta Force videos. Let me know if there's like any like confusion with the gunsmith, because you know this game does have like a really complicated gunsmith system. So goodbye. Goodbye. Subscribe for more Delta Force Mobile videos. Goodbye. Goodbye.